Okay, for our lesson today, it's called Simplifying Expressions. And I'm going to give you several terms. You're going to need to write down and keep these in your notes for an upcoming quiz that you're probably going to get. First one is variable. A variable is simply a symbol that represents an unknown quantity, some kind of number that we don't know, and its symbols are usually letters. This is an example of an expression. The difference between an expression and an equation is expressions don't have an equal sign. There's not another side to this expression that's equal, so you just see an expression, no equal sign. Equations have equal signs and two sides. Next term is a term, the actual word terms. Terms are each individual part of an expression. So in the expression you're looking at right now, 2n is a term, negative 8n is a term, negative 3, positive n, and positive 7. Those are all separate terms in that expression. Next vocabulary is like terms. Like terms contain the same variable to the same power. For example, in an expression, if you had 2x squared and then 3x squared, those are like terms because they are raised to the same power, the same exponent. But if you had 2x squared and 3x, those are not like terms because they do not have the same exponent or the same power. In this expression, our like terms are going to be 2n, negative 8n, and negative n, those three. Also, negative 3 and negative 7 are like terms. And we have a vocabulary term to describe negative 3 and negative 7. We'll get to that in a minute. The next term is coefficients. Coefficients are the numbers that are right in front of the variable. So in the first term up here, the 2 is a coefficient. The negative 8 is a coefficient. And what's in front of a variable that stands by itself is a 1. We don't write it, but it's understood 1 to be there. So that would be the coefficient in front of that variable. There's a 1. The next term is constants. That's what we call numbers that stand alone with no variable attached to them. So negative 3 and 7 are your constants in this expression. We're going to go on now, and we're going to practice identifying the terms, like terms, coefficients, and constants in these expressions. First, we're going to start here on the left. 5n minus 2n minus 3 plus n. The terms, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we're going to list them. 5n, positive 5n. The sign that comes right in front of the term stays with it. So this is a negative 2n, and then a negative 3, and then a positive n. The like terms, when we look back at our terms, are going to be all our n's because they're raised to the same power, which is a power of 1. So we have 5n, negative 2n, and n. Next, we have to list the coefficients, the numbers that are right in front of the variables. 5, negative 2, and then 1, because there's 1 in there, so there's a 1. Can't forget that 1. Constants are any numbers that stand alone, and the only one we have is negative 3. And that's all there is to that. It's pretty simple. Let's do it again over here. Terms would be 7, negative 3d, negative 8, and d. Like terms would be negative 3d and d. Coefficients would be negative 3 and 1. And the constants then would be 7 and negative 8. Now we're going to move on. Now, the reason you have to know all that is to know how to simplify an expression. If you know the like terms, you can put them together. So in this expression, we have 7 socks. I like to use words for the variables, so it kind of helps give more meaning to what's going on in the expression. You have 7 socks, and now I have negative 7 socks. Those are like terms. They have the same variable to the same power. And they're also opposites, so they actually cancel each other out. And the only thing we're left with is 5. 7 socks take away 7 socks is 0 socks, and then we're just left with 5. So that's the simplified version of that expression. Over here we have apples. We have 1 apple plus 4 apples minus 7 apples minus 1. So the first 3 terms in this expression are like terms. So we're going to take 1 apple plus 4 apples. It's going to make 5 apples. Then we're going to take away 7 apples. 5 apples take away 7 apples is negative 2 apples. And then the minus 1 just comes on down. And this is the simplified version of that expression. We cannot combine the 2a and the 1 because they are not like terms. That's as far as we can take that one. Let's do a couple more. We're going to have like terms here, 2g and negative 8g. Let's see, we have 2 goats, take away 8 goats. Now we're going to have negative 6 goats. And then in the center here, the negative 3 and the positive 11 are like terms, so we can combine those. And we get a positive 8. And that is finished. And one more time. We've got negative 4j and negative 4j. Like terms. Also same signs. We'll add, keep the same sign. Negative 8j's. And then we have negative 1 and positive 6. Those are also like terms. We put those together. We get a positive 5. And that's finished also. These are pretty easy once you get the hang of like terms. You're going to see a problem kind of like this on your paper. I want to make sure you understand how you find the perimeter of any figure. Did you add all the sides together? Well, when you see sides in expressions like 5x plus 5, just put all these terms together in one long sentence. So I'm going to start at the top with 3x. Then I'm going to add 5x at the bottom. Then I'm going to add the 5x plus 5 twice, because there are 2 sides. That's 5x plus 5. Now, if I added all this together, that would be an expression that would represent the perimeter of this figure. So all I do now is combine my like terms. I'm going to start with my x's. I've got 3 x's, 5 x's, 5 x's, and 5 x's. So that would be 5, 10, 15 x's plus 3, 18 x's. And then I'm going to have a whole 5 here and a whole 5 here, which adds to 10. 18x plus 10 is a simplified perimeter expression for this figure. Now I'm going to leave you with 5 expressions to simplify to bring to class.